Yesterday we spoke to campaigner Valerie Ask, who talked about her own difficulty dealing with her own daughter's problems in this. Wide reaction to that. During the course of the conversation, Valerie mentioned that Anna Cullen from the group Regret was on her way back from an international conference in Japan. I'm going to hear from Anna in just a second. After we broadcast this, we will also then invite a response from the HSE to see an update from them, just to give balance to the whole situation. But if you're touched by this particular conversation, feel free to contact us on 053 914 5222 or text in your comments to 087 3737 956. I'm joined by Anna. Good morning to Anna.
Good morning, Alan. Thanks for having me on the programme.
You were referred to yesterday during the course of our discussion with Valerie and a reference to Japan. You've just come back from there, I believe.
That's right. Ireland was invited as guest speakers at an international HPV vaccine symposium in Tokyo alongside Colombia, Spain, UK and Japan. So I'm just literally back. It's very interesting to see that their situation is very similar to ours in that the girls suffer with the same cluster of debilitating symptoms all over the world. All these countries have the same problems. The difference in Japan is that doctors are working with the Japanese victim groups to find a resolution and are very keen on collaborating with Ireland and Colombia in the medical community to find, I suppose, treatment protocols with a common ground. Because at the end of the day, this is not a one side against the other. The problem with 400 Irish girls affected by this vaccine is not going away. We have girls now in the group that are in life-threatening situations. We have one girl who has suffered pancreatitis 40 times following the first shot of the vaccine. Within 18 days, she had an onset of acute pancreatitis. So she spent more than 400 days in hospital at this stage. And the resolution for her, as it looks, one of possible some resolution is a pancreatic transplant, which comes with major risks. So these are extremely serious cases.
I'm going to bring all these to the attention of the HSE and to get a reaction from them. But just in relation to what Valerie said to me yesterday was she wasn't calling for a blanket ban on the HPV vaccine, but she was calling for some form of leafleting information being put with the vaccine. Is that a similar call that you're making?
Absolutely, and we've always had a very respectful approach to this. We've never asked for the vaccination programme to be withdrawn. We've always said that we wanted two things. One was that this large group of girls were independently investigated to see what happened to them following the HPV vaccination. And secondly, that the full risk information from the manufacturer, the PIL, is included in the school packs. And we feel they're very reasonable requests. And we also feel that because this is not being done, the Irish public are not really buying into the programme. So I think if there was a more respectful conversation in how this can be resolved for these Irish girls who suffer not with one symptom, but with cluster symptoms that mirror the symptoms in Japan, Colombia. Colombia now has 700 girls in a class action lawsuit, whilst Japan have 123 girls in a group lawsuit.
Just remind us about your group again, the group that you represent.
Yeah, Regret stands for Reactions and Effects of Gardasil Resulting in Extreme Trauma. So we are a support group, parent-led support group, for parents of girls who were affected, who we believe were affected by the HPV vaccine. So these were completely healthy girls going in to receive their vaccinations, and many have been left in chronic state of chronic illness for over 7 years now.
And finally, Anna, what are you calling for this morning then? Summarise it for us.
Yeah, I'm calling for the HSE to urgently include the patient information leaflet with the full risk information and all possible side effects in the HSE information packs that are given to parents via the schools. We're calling for an urgent independent investigation into what happened to hundreds of Irish teenage girls following the HPV vaccination. And I'm calling for the HSE to stop this very aggressive attack on parents where the girls are being labelled fake stories, parents are being told they are emotional terrorists, and there are sponsored ads appearing on our girls' timelines saying, don't believe these rumours. But in stark contrast, I'm just back from Japan, who have 123 very sick girls. And I met with these girls. Many of these girls are in wheelchairs. We're going into a group action lawsuit. Colombia with 700 girls in a class action lawsuit. The UK with 3,000 serious adverse events out of 9,000 reported. And in Ireland, it's been acknowledged that out of 1,100 reported adverse events on HPRA reporting system, 650 needed medical intervention. So, I mean, these girls do exist, and they all mirror the same cluster of symptoms.
And can it be medically proven that the HPV vaccine has caused these illnesses within these young girls?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. Can it be proven that it was not caused by the HPV vaccine? You have a healthy daughter going in to receive 3 shots of this vaccine and follows on with chronic illness or a cluster of symptoms that are written down in the manufacturer's risk information as possible side effects. And this is mirrored all across the world. So we now have like 84,000 reports on the European reporting system, 50,000 reports on the VAERS reporting system in the States.
So is it fair to say it cannot be proven or disproven at this stage?
It can be proven in the law of justice, we believe. I mean, there are lawsuits now in each country where this vaccine has been rolled out. So, I mean, that would be up to the courts to rule on the link between the symptoms and the vaccine. But meanwhile, we can't stop the lives of,
but at this point, sorry to push you on this, but basically, has it been medically proven or disproven, the effects?
It has been proven in some courts. There was a Spanish girl where the court last year, I think it was, proved that there was a causation link between the vaccination, and this girl suffered with asthma, which has now been kind of mentioned as a possible contraindicator as well to this vaccine, and this young girl died.
Okay.
So there are many compensations coming through the US vaccine compensation program also. So yes, these cases are starting to get proven.
We leave it there for the moment. Anna, thank you for taking our call this morning. We'll follow up and try and get a response from the other side of this particular story and see what the reaction is. Thank you for taking our call this morning.
We really just want a respectful conversation, focusing on how we're going to help this girl.
Right, a lot of comments coming in on this area as well. We have Eileen says, my daughter Orla is chronically ill since last 4 years. Muscle dystrophy, psoriasis, chronic fatigue, head and neck pain. All the family has been hugely affected. I've had to give up work to care for her. Someone please help us. And Eileen has texted in with that particular story to tell, and she believes it's allied to the vaccine. As I said, we will get a response in the interest of balance from the health authority to see what they have to say regarding this. But we do want to get your comments in as well. She was a really happy, sporty girl before she got the vaccine in the first year, is another comment that's come in from another listener. Keep those comments coming in on this and other issues as well, please, to 087 3737 956. Just going back to our...